We're talking here with credit counselor Jeff Schwartz. Jeff, let's start off talking about how can I tell if I can afford to buy a home? How did the banks size me up in terms of how much they'll lend me?
Well, one of the things that the banks do very quickly is they ask for information so they can come up with your GDSR or TDSR, so your gross debt service ratio or your total debt service ratio.
What do those terms mean?
Essentially, they want to see if you take your expenses, your housing expenses, your taxes, your insurance on the gross one against your gross monthly income, and it meets a certain test of about 32%, can you afford to carry the mortgage based on those numbers?
Now, what's your opinion of how much those will protect the home buyer? I guess what I'm asking is, if I meet the bank's criteria, am I safe? Can I afford my home comfortably?
I don't think they go far enough, Rob.
Okay, so your answer is no then. Just because the bank says you can afford this much mortgage doesn't mean I can comfortably carry it.
Exactly. In some cases you may be able to, but truthfully I don't think they go far enough, especially in light of the amount of debt, other debt, that people are carrying today. And
the banks aren't interested in that other debt when they size you up?
Well, it's not coming into play in these particular measurements at this point.
Okay, now Jeff, tell me about your preferred system for finding out if you can afford to buy a house.
Our preferred system is, let's look at the whole picture. Let's look at your budget and look at where you're spending your money. And ideally what we'd like to see is that housing costs remain somewhere in 25 to 30% ratio of your net income, because really that's what you've got the money you have to play with.
So every month housing costs should take roughly a quarter to a third of what you bring home.
Absolutely.
Great, thanks Jeff.
You're welcome.